My 23F boyfriend, 24 meters, wants to move in with me. I want him to live alone first. Can you help? My boyfriend and I have been together 10 months. He lives with his parents, 50s M plus F, and younger brothers, 10, 16, 18, no sisters. Before current events he was over my place basically every night. A couple nights ago he said that he wants to move in with me. If I'm up for it. I've been to his place more than once. And I've seen how their dynamic works. His mother does everything for all 5 men in that house. Cooking, cleaning, the works. Basically all they have to do is put their laundry away after she washes, dries, irons, folds it. The reason the parents aren't forcing them to contribute is that this was the parents' agreement. He works. She's a stay-at-home. So she raises the kids, runs the household, and he pays for everything. With one of the clauses being that as she's doing everything there's no need to involve the boys. As a result, my boyfriend cannot do anything. I don't know how much of this is actual cluelessness and how much is him trying to get out of stuff. But he has told me, completely sincere, and I checked this with his mother, that he can't even fry an egg. Which is why, when my boyfriend suggested moving in together, I said I wanted him to live alone first. His plan was basically to go straight from his mother's house to my flat. I told him my hesitation, which is that he can't do chores. He then offered to pay more rent, 75%, in exchange for me doing all the chores. I said no. I don't want to be his mother. Or his maid. I want to be his girlfriend. Then I told him I wanted him to live alone. Go from his mother's house to his own place. Figure out how to do all the things he's never done for himself. Learn some basic life skills. And then revisit us living together. This has caused a huge argument. Biggest we've ever had. He's taken me saying he has no life skills as an insult. Which it kind of was, to be fair. And has basically said that clearly I don't want to live with him at all as I've pushed the moving in time back and have only said we'd revisit after a few months of him living alone. And I did say revisit because I wanted to make sure he actually knew what he was doing and wouldn't immediately switch back to offering more rent for no chores. This was all a couple nights ago and he's just stopped talking to me. He's at his mom's. He's online. He's talking to mutual friends who have said he is responding. He just won't answer any of my calls, texts. He's told our friends what happened and they're all on his side, saying I was really mean, cruel. I love him. And I do want to live with him eventually. I just don't want to live with him if I'm doing everything. And the one thing I don't want is him paying extra for me to do all the housework. Is there some sort of compromise? Or some option I'm not seeing? What can I do to fix this? It is not mean or cruel to expect an adult to be an adult before moving in with you. To be honest, I barely had life skills when I moved in with my husband. Not entirely my parents' fault. My mom tried, but I was a very distracted kid. But because I didn't want to freaking disappoint him, I learned as fast as I could. If your boyfriend isn't even willing to see that this is a major red flag in his life, and this may end up being a totally avoidable deal breaker, watch your sex life flush right down the drain if you have to turn into his mommy. Please stick to your guns on this one. Your gut is saving you a lot of emotional turmoil in the future. So he tells you he has no idea how to take care of himself and then gets pouty when you tell him you aren't going to be his new mommy? You aren't saying he has no life skills. It's literally the truth. Listen, everyone else can take his side because they won't be the one cooking and cleaning for an adult baby. As an old woman, my advice is to never date a man who can't take care of himself and never date a man who can't hear the truth. Oh hell no. Absolutely not. And don't let him spend so much time there. You are not taking on this load of red flags. He is fundamentally useless and you are setting yourself up for a lifetime of misery. Every single woman I know that married this dude is now divorced and so bitter about the years lost to his bullsh. My friend, this is your future. Hardline boundary. He can come over once a week and teach himself to cook, do his laundry, and he can clean your bathroom until he gets it. You will hate yourself. You will hate your life if you waste these years on him. If he wanted to, he would. He could learn. He just needs a sweet-ass mommy bang maid substitute and you're currently being auditioned. I would run. But you do you. Edited to add, he then went full king baby temper tantrum and sent his flying monkeys to bully you? See ya. Get out now. Don't waste any more time. He 100% will expect you to be his bang maid if he moves in. If you refuse, he'll run home to mommy whenever he needs his clothes washed or meals cooked for him. These type of guys make horrible partners. If you have a child with him, all the household chores and childcare will fall to you. It is a miserable, miserable life. Stand your ground. It's too bad that he found it insulting that he doesn't have life skills. It's the truth. He was raised to believe that the woman has to do everything related to the home. He will absolutely expect you to cook, clean, do the laundry and anything else he is accustomed to his mother doing. He doesn't even know what goes into being independent and self-sufficient because as far as he is concerned, it's all magic, so there's no work involved. I would be careful because he doesn't even respect you or your time. He thinks he can throw some money at you and you will do everything on top of your own full-time job. That is what's really insulting in this situation. He doesn't even have to move out. Just tell him he has to live independently with his parents and take care of his own needs. Give him lessons in cooking and cleaning at your place and see if he can handle that on the regular. Him moving in with you should result in less work for you, not more. But I suspect this relationship is over because if the silent treatment is how he handles conflict, it's a very bad sign. Well, he doesn't seem very good at conflict resolution either. My hubby didn't live on his own before we got married, and it was a learning experience and adjustment. We had to get on the same page with standards. We both didn't really know how to cook, but we learned. You can learn these skills online. But my hubby was willing to learn and pull his weight. BF doesn't seem to be willing, which is a deal breaker. Your child is throwing a tantrum and bad-mouthing you to all his friends, with his version of the story that makes you look bad and him look good. This man does not have your back and he will turn on you and throw you under the bus with every argument. He's already proven that, and that proves he can't be trusted. You're being very smart right now not letting him move in and requiring he live on his own first. You would be his mother for the rest of your life. You are right. Do not give in. If he continues to give you the silent treatment, then I would consider it a blessing and give him the breakup he wants. I'm 44. And I was 42 when I realized that I've ever lived alone. I was too busy failing life in my 20s to do it while all my friends were. My parents enabled me. I took that codependency into my marriage. And it has totally sucked for my wife. She's got her own issues which I've counterbalanced, though, so we're sort of working out. But it's been tough. Absolutely do not compromise on this. I can't believe how you know this at your age. It is 100% what he needs to do in order to not have these unfair expectations from you or any other woman he ends up with. These days, it's impossible for a family to thrive on one income. So you'll definitely be expected to both work and still look after him. This is not your problem to solve. His family has taught him this is how families should work. So he will be better off finding a woman who actually comes from the same sort of family. She will expect this as well. Calling you mean, cruel for his lack of independence is telling of what you can expect if you join this family. Your needs will always be lesser. Nope. There is no compromise. Your BF doesn't want a partner. He wants a bangmaid. And even if he did get himself together and start taking care of things, he would probably stop doing anything once you guys get married. I'm sorry, but you guys aren't going to work out. He's told our friends what happened and they're all on his side, saying I was really mean, cruel, and find some better friends. My dad went from living with his parents to living with my mom for 40 years of marriage, ended by her unexpected passing. He was in his early 60s. Bro had to teach himself everything basically and still doesn't know plenty of basic stuff. He also has no idea how to connect with his children because his wife did it for him. He has no idea how to maintain friendships even. His friends were my mom's friends' husbands. A year on his own in 1978 would have made a world of difference for my dad. And honestly my mom too. Maybe her heart wouldn't have given out at 62 after being the breadwinner and the default parent, and the person who ran the household. Anyways, stick to your guns. I've got to say, his getting all butthurt over your very reasonable request and then involving his friends in your dispute would be a kick his ass to the curb moment for me. Dude wants to buy himself a new mommy with benefits and throws a tantrum when he doesn't get his way. This one isn't cooked yet. Throw him back in the oven. He'll be fine. He doesn't know how to turn one on. You're totally justified here. You don't fix this. Your BF is either ready to grow up and learn to be a self-sufficient adult or he is not. To the friends saying you are being mean and cruel, tell them if they feel that way they should invite him to room with them. Right now, your BF is fighting against doing chores and adulting. If you don't want to be a bangmaid, you need to stand firm. Just repeat after me. You want a partner who pulls his own weight. Quote, adulting is hard enough as is. You don't need to double your adulting burden with a dead weight partner. Now, you know about cleaning and cooking. What about the rest of his basic life skills? Does he know how to pay bills? Book appointments? Budget? Track oil changes? Being the petty sort, I would be getting him Life Skills for Teens by Karen Harris for Christmas. Let's make this really simple. What you see is what you get with this man. You might love him, but you will always be forced to be a mother figure to him. And unless your dream is to be a full-time homemaker, if you are pursuing a career with a man who doesn't have any life skills and expects you to do everything, well, you will resent having to do the work of two people. Chances are, you will be planning every doctor's appointment, every date, carrying the mental load of every dinner, essentially having a kid before you're ready. And when you have kids and you are sleep deprived and this man won't lift a finger to change a diaper or warm a bottle at night because he'd rather outsource that work to you, well, let's hope he makes a high enough salary to make your life easier in other ways, because we both know you will be doing it all. Overall, you are smart to have your concerns because your intuition is telling you they are real concerns based on what you know of him. You asking him to work on his life skills isn't mean. It's actually a great solution if he wants to make a life with another adult who doesn't want to be his mother or his maid. When the issue comes in is that he wants to treat you like his maid and thinks you should be okay with that. Your friends are either extremely traditional or just clueless. The man wants to pay 25% more rent for a full-time maid and cook? No way. If you are going to even entertain that thought, then he pays all the rent and living expenses for the privilege of a homemaker. Even then, with his lack of compromising, I would be worried. Overall, it seems your best option would be to take the short-term pain for the long-term gain. Stick to not wanting to be someone's full-time maid. Stop chasing him. Let the man-child hurt for a while and maybe he will give learning life skills a try. So his response to being asked to adult is to stop talking to you? Please just stop trying with him. This isn't a group decision. You made an informed decision based on his lack of skill sets. And his refusal to discuss it shows his incredible lack of maturity. Stop reaching out, and when you don't come crawling to him giving him everything he wants. Maybe he will be ready to discuss it. Oh my God, the fact that he's ignoring you now should tell you everything. He's not ready to grow up. Move on. Absolutely not. His weaponized incompetence is part of the problem. And it's an even bigger issue that he gives you the silent treatment when you express a reasonable boundary. If he said he needed some space to process what that means for him, that's one thing. But he's just radio silent on you. That for me is a relationship ender right there. Don't compromise here. The basic boundary is, I won't live with someone who does not pull their weight in the household. The gold standard boundary is, I won't accept a relationship with someone who weaponizes silence to guilt me into compliance with what they want. I'd be dropping the whole dude by this point. You are being incredibly sensible. His mother has failed him. Honestly. By not enabling him to grow up, but instead enabling him to remain a child. He can't show you he can do the bare minimum of adulting before you move in together. That would be a huge no for me. Leaving his mother's house would be really good for him too. He might find he loves to cook. Tell all those haters if they are happy to support him and wipe his bum for him they can move in with him instead of you. Edit. Quite right. Father has failed him too. You are a very smart person and I commend you for being willing to see the issue as it really is. And to stand up for yourself in what you will not accept. In my experience, this kind of situation is not going to work out the way you are hoping it will. Because he is not going to change. IMHO. Just let this guy go and consider that you totally dodged a bullet. I'm hoping that things will work out the best way for you in this situation.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.